Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news from around the world without fear or favor. I'm your host, Barbara, and we're glad you're joining us today. We're starting with a developing story in the Middle East, where tensions continue to escalate between various factions. The Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen have launched a missile attack on an oil tanker in the Red Sea, off the coast of Saudi Arabia. According to reports, the missile landed near the vessel, but it's unclear if there were any casualties or damage. This latest incident comes after Israel launched a series of airstrikes last week, targeting Houthi leaders, including their prime minister and several cabinet members. The Houthis have vowed to retaliate, and this attack on the oil tanker appears to be part of that response. The situation in Yemen is complex, with multiple players involved, including the Saudi-led coalition, the United Arab Emirates, and the United States. The conflict has resulted in a humanitarian crisis, with thousands of civilians caught in the crossfire. In related news, the Houthis have also raided the offices of the United Nations in Yemen's capital, detaining at least 11 employees. This move has raised concerns about the safety of aid workers and the impact on humanitarian efforts in the war-torn country. As we continue to follow this story, it's essential to remember that the conflict in Yemen is multifaceted, with various factions having different interests and agendas. We'll strive to provide you with balanced reporting, highlighting the perspectives of all parties involved. The situation in the Middle East remains volatile, with potential implications for global security and stability. We'll keep a close eye on developments and bring you updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into our middle segment. Today, we're focusing on a devastating natural disaster that has struck eastern Afghanistan, leaving a trail of destruction and loss in its wake. According to reports from multiple sources, including NPR World and France 24, a 6.0 magnitude earthquake hit the region late Sunday night, killing at least 610 people and injuring over 1,300. The quake was centered near the city of Jalalabad in Nangarhar province and caused widespread damage to numerous villages. The Taliban government has confirmed that rescue operations are still underway, with medical teams from nearby provinces and the capital, Kabul, arriving on the scene to assist. However, the full extent of the damage is not yet known, as many areas have not been able to report casualty figures. It's worth noting that this region is prone to earthquakes, and a similar disaster struck Afghanistan just 2 years ago, resulting in significant loss of life. The international community will likely be watching closely to see how the situation develops and whether aid will be needed to support the affected communities. As we bring you this update, our thoughts are with the people of Afghanistan who have been affected by this tragedy. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. In a situation like this, it's essential to rely on credible sources and avoid speculation. We've consulted multiple news outlets to ensure that our reporting is accurate and fair. As always, we strive to bring you balanced and unbiased information, and we appreciate your trust in Barbara's Bulletin. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to bring your attention to a thought-provoking story that highlights the complexities of immigration policies and their far-reaching consequences. A recent article published by Capital in Maine sheds light on the fears and uncertainties faced by immigrant workers in the United States. The story shares the experiences of various individuals, including those who have been living and working in the country for years, as well as those who have come to the U.S. on temporary work visas. Despite their contributions to the economy and their efforts to follow the rules, these workers are often plagued by anxiety and uncertainty due to the threat of immigration raids and deportation. One striking aspect of this story is the account of a group of men who were working on an H-2A visa, which is specifically designed for temporary or seasonal agricultural workers. Despite having the necessary paperwork and following the proper procedures, these individuals found themselves facing potential deportation due to a pending court case. It's also worth noting that the fear of immigration raids is not limited to undocumented workers. Even those who are in the country legally, such as the men mentioned earlier, are affected by the climate of uncertainty and anxiety created by these policies. Another important aspect of this story is the impact on workers' rights and labor protections. As one expert pointed out, the fear of immigration raids can lead to a lack of accountability among employers, creating an environment where workplace exploitation and abuse can thrive. As we consider the complexities of immigration policies, it's essential to approach the topic with empathy and understanding. We must recognize that immigrant workers are not just statistics or headlines, they are human beings who deserve dignity, respect, and fair treatment. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.